everyone. In today's training video, we are going to go over how to use the route mapping feature within the service program. In order to use the mapping system, the first place that I'm going to need to head to is the route schedule. So right across the top toolbar within the service program, in the top left corner, I'm going to select the route schedule icon, and that'll open up my route schedule. To get to the mapping application, I need to click the map button across the top of the route schedule. And you'll see that that map button has an icon of a globe. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now when I click that map button, the service program is going to ask me a question that pertains to syncing. Again, the mapping application is web-based. It operates off of the same database as your mobile application. So we want to make sure that all of your data has been synced correctly to the mobile side so that the mapping system can provide accurate results. Now, the question that it asks me here is it says select yes to sync the route schedule only, select no to sync customer information and the route schedule. What you would select here on this prompt really depends on the scenario. If you've added brand new customers to the service program and you've added them to the route schedule, I would recommend selecting no on this prompt. That'll ensure that the system syncs that customer to the web database as well as the stop on the route schedule for that customer. In a scenario where you know that you have not added any new customers to the system, you can select yes, and it will just only sync your route schedule to make sure that your routes are up to date and accurate on the mobile side with what's displaying here in the desktop software. For the purpose of today's training video, I will not be selecting either option as I don't want to waste time syncing. I've already performed a sync before the beginning of this training session. So we're going to go ahead and just select cancel, and we'll open up the web mapping application. Again, if you select yes or no, the system will take a minute or two to sync, and then it will open up the web mapping application within your browser. In a previous video, we discussed how to get coordinates for your customers. At this time, I'm going to head directly to the route mapping module. So once I select route mapping from the panel on the left-hand side there, will bring us to this screen, and it should load a map, and there will be an icon on that map for where your company is located. From there, I'm going to head to the panel on the right-hand side. This is where we would need to begin to input some parameters so that we can optimize our route. So from the top drop-down, it says choose route. I am going to select R1. I could also be more specific with what I'm wanting to optimize. I could select a frequency, a zone, or even a zip code. But at this point, we're just going to do a traditional route optimization. So I'm going to neglect those fields. And after I select my route, I'm going to input the date that I need to optimize for. And I have stops on my schedule for July 29th. You'll also notice there's an option here labeled Use Traffic Data. So this is something that internally you'll decide whether or not you want to use real-time traffic data when optimizing your routes. Of course, that could have an impact on the optimization. After I have my parameters set, I can go ahead and click this Map Routes button, and it will begin to display my customers on the map here. If I'm unsure of which customers are being displayed, I can click on the stop, and it will tell me that customer's name. So as you can see, we have Andy and Carol Morrison, and that's for Route 1 on July 29th. So it fits the parameters that I've put in place. At this point, I want to go ahead and optimize my stops. So right below the Map Routes button, there's a button labeled Optimize Routes. So we'll go ahead and select that. And now we'll give the system a few seconds here to put these stops in the most efficient order. All right, so as you can see, the optimization is finished. And at this point, my starting point, which is the company's location, is also the ending point. There will be an additional video that goes over how to make adjustments to that. As you can see, it gives us a nice path here, stop 1, stop 2, stop 3, stop 4, and so forth, and loops all the way back around to the starting or to the ending location. From here, I can select the Directions tab. And the system will give me directions from the starting point to stop 1, all the way to the last stop, and then back to the ending location. It also gives me a total distance. So this route is about 33.5 miles. A total time, so that's driving time. As you can see, it's a little bit more than an hour and a half. And these directions can be printed out. So you'll notice there's a print button. You could always click that print button, print out the directions, and hand the directions to your driver. The third tab is the Stops tab, and this is where we would want to save the order that the mapping system has put our stops in. So on this screen, you will notice it displays the route that we are optimizing for, the date, the customer's name, the original stop number, and again, the original stop number will be the stop number that was in the desktop before you optimized your route. The optimized stop number, so what the mapping system is recommending, and then there's a third column labeled New Stop Number, because if for some reason, if you do not like what the mapping system is recommending, or if there's some sort of unique circumstance, maybe you know that you have a particular customer that has to be the last stop for the day or the first stop, you can always manually adjust your stop order. At this point, I'm going to click the green Save Route Order button because I do like what the mapping system provided as far as an optimization. And we'll give the mapping system a moment here to kick in that change. At this point, it's going to ask me a question about, what would I like to do from here? Would I like to continue to map a new route, or would I like to continue editing the stop numbers that I have in place? I'm just going to go ahead and click Map Another Route. And from here, I could then map Route 2 for July 29th. And then if I like that order, I could save that order and continue to map all of my routes for the entire week. Of course, if you have a week's worth of stops populated on your route schedule. Once you are finished optimizing your routes, we now need to get the new stop numbers populated back in the desktop version of the service program. So I'm going to head back to the service program, and I can do that one of two ways. I can click the map button from along the top, and if I select yes to sync the route schedule, it will update the desktop software with the new stop numbers. I could also click Sync Mobile Devices, and from this drop-down, I could specifically select routes and then click Sync. Once that sync is finished, the stop numbers that the mapping application provided would then update the desktop software. And that's it for route mapping within this video. Stick around for another video where we're going to go a little bit more in depth on the route mapping side of things. If you need to adjust a starting or ending location, if you need to reassign stops because you don't think that they fit on a certain day for a certain technician, our mapping application does have the ability to do that as well.